your brain and why it may ultimately make you want to buy what it's selling. Prepare for takeoff. Think of navigating the world of consumer neuroscience like flying an airplane. The airplane represents your brain, a complex machine that functions via a particular set of rules and limits. The wind all around the plane is the consumer world, where exposure to brands and marketing constantly tugs on the mechanisms of the brain, pulling our thoughts and desires this way and that. Then there's the person aboard the plane, you, or rather your conscious mind. The question is, are you a pilot or a passenger? Which role you inhabit depends on your knowledge of the plane and the wind. A pilot possesses this knowledge and can safely navigate the plane where they want it to go. A passenger, by contrast, is clueless about the plane and the wind, how the brain and the consumer world interact, and goes wherever they're flown. In that sense, this is a book about taking control of your flight. It's about understanding the airplane and the wind, about understanding the brain and how marketing impacts it, so you can better navigate the choppy winds of today's consumer world. Closing the knowledge gap. We believe it is not just beneficial, but necessary for you to understand your consumer behavior. Why the urgency? Well, today more than ever, brands know you better than you know yourself. You're not the only one with a vested interest in understanding this relationship between your brain and the consumer world. With every click, swipe, and heartbeat recorded on a smart device, brands learn even more about how best to separate you from your cash. The knowledge gap between consumers and brands gets wider by the day. With that context firmly at heart, this book is written for you, the consumer, and for anyone determined to close the disturbingly large knowledge gap between psychology and marketing. In the next 12 chapters, we reveal the deep interaction between our brains and the consumer world. Within the context of marketing, we illuminate the neuroscience of memories and experiences, pleasure and pain, emotion and logic, perception and reality, attention, decision-making, addiction, novelty, likability, empathy, communication, storytelling, and subliminal messaging. On the surface, you will learn how the brain works and see how brands design for it. But peel back a layer, and you'll find a sharper image of yourself, a better understanding of your psychology as reflected in the mirror of your consumer behavior. To be a pilot, one needs to be an expert in both the wind and the airplane. To gain our new kind of blindsight in the consumer world, one needs to be an expert in both marketing and the brain. That's why this book has two authors. It combines Matt Johnson's experience as a neuroscientist with Prince Ghuman's experience as a marketer to provide a rare window into the unseen world of consumer science. Are you ready, like Neo in the Matrix, to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Follow us. Welcome to Blindsight. Chapter 1. Eating the Menu: How Marketing Tricks Our Tongues. Imagine you're a judge on a cooking show. You're served 5 fancy plates of pâté-style meat, each carefully garnished and accompanied by imported crackers. All of them look equally amazing, and you sample each one. Then the host gives you the following task: identify which of the 5 pâtés is the dog food. This wasn't a cooking show. This was the exact experience of participants in a 2009 research study, bluntly titled, "Can People Distinguish Pâté from Dog Food?" 4 of the dishes contained human food, including expensive luxury pâtés. 1 was canned dog food that was blended through a food processor to give it the same look and consistency of pâté. The shade of the meat was slightly different in each pâté, but aside from that, their appearances were identical. The results? No one could tell which one was the dog food. If your mother were to hand you a can of dog food and say, "Eat this, it tastes about the same as duck pâté at a fraction of the cost," you'd look at her as if she were crazy. Yet when dog food is dressed up the same way as a pâté, your tongue can't tell them apart. And it's worth emphasizing that the participants in the study were